Hello, my friend, and Namaste. Welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Stepº8 Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. Such a pleasure to light walk with you today. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions in this beautiful underwater temple of Gaia on Friday. Thank goddess it's Friday. And it's the weekend, of course, February 28, 2015, and we will go to March 1st on Sunday. So today I've chosen this underwater theme because we're in Pisces. We are exploring the deep blue sea of our subconscious, if you haven't noticed. And I'd say the deepest part of it has yet to be discovered. Believe it or not, so far, in the first 8 or 9 days, we have been just working through the shallow part of our subconscious. So the things that are immediately haunting us, the things that are immediately in our way. So this weekend, we're going to make a decision to change the depth of our consciousness once again and swim past the sharks. And that's because today, Step 8 rules the day. Step 8 is the decision. And when you're talking about a decision in Pisces, you're talking about a decision with your subconscious. You are really doing an almighty release of something when you decide at the Pisces level. When you try to very quietly make a very, very profound decision, that often these decisions lead to others. And many viewers, clients, comments have been reporting back to me that you have been cutting away a whole bunch of junk. Awesome. It is now time to decide that we are done with that, or that this particular shark or issue isn't going to haunt us anymore. We're not going to be afraid. We're going to learn how to swim with these sharks. And today I'm going to talk about in the Sensei Sunrise some tips for swimming with sharks. I'll also give you the timing of when sharks might be circling you in the zodiac weather and cosmic clock. But before we dive into those tanks, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of the day. I am mindful of spirit today and ready to decide. I am mindful of spirit and ready to decide. Ready to decide what? Basically what you don't want to fear anymore. What you don't want to have turn into problems. And if you can get it to as simple as you can, as far as what you're deciding to step away from, that's better. We're also going to have other complex decisions for the weekend. Might decide to step away from a particular shark in our life. That's okay. That's more complex. But I'm ready to decide on a very basic level. No more being afraid of sharks. That's a very simple thing that turns into all sorts of sharks and all sorts of ponds and all sorts of oceans, right? So I am mindful of my spirit because my spirit knows my multi-lifetime story. And I'm ready to decide how this story is going to change. We're going to move into a new ocean or we're going to swim to a new depth. I am mindful of spirit and ready to decide, and so it is. I thought so. The serious step of the day is Step 8, which is Capricorn energy, if you don't know. The decision, the Saturn, the incision in consciousness. Saturn is the ruler of the outer and the inner. Saturn decides who gets in the party and who doesn't get in the party. And what Saturn makes an incision, which is like a cut in the consciousness, we now feed the new consciousness and we step away from the consciousness we don't want. So we do this tree trimming, if you will, 3 times in the transit, in any one transit. And today, as you make a decision in the Pisces consciousness here in the bottom, the mind, what you are mindful of, then your body, what you embody, will also embody that decision. And your spirit on earth will embody that decision. Now the truth is your spirit comes before the mind, so that's the full circle of it there, right? Your spirit is the one who really wanted to decide this in the first place, so it all goes full circle. So we decide, we're loving and trusting what we decide, and we're feeling our leadership at the top of the tree. Let's look at the chakras and colors involved. Well, we are all working on violet, our crown. Where are we being led from in the highest consciousness? And when we make a decision, it's an indigo pulse of light that makes a little announcement, like a Kmart Blue special, that the sale is about to end. So this is the Kmart Blue Special. We do a little flash out there, and today we're going to do a little flash, or in the next 24 hours, a flash of what we are officially deciding. Now on Saturn Day, tomorrow, action rules the day, so your root chakra will rule on Saturday. This might make people a little anxious. Be sure to ground, and people will be, running red lights, things like that. And on Sunday, we manifest this decision and make it our foundation. So we are operating out of the orange on Saturday, manifesting the new foundation from which our subconscious will stand. All right? Always clean the windshield. And what I mean by that is always be clear of how the future can unfold. We want to be very non-judgmental in Pisces in particular. And we want to remember that we create our own reality, so there is no future until we create it. Now let's look on to our cosmic clock. Here we are looking at the time. The moon is moving into Cancer, but first, the sun at step 8 Pisces. We just crossed over Neptune in the last 24 hours. Certainly put me in a vortex, man. I'm still waking up out of it, literally, but I just obeyed and slept when I had to. I hope you all did too. The sun now heading for Chiron. That's the next big event, if you will. But today we are basically wrapping up the first decan, which is facing fears and spiritual garbage in our subconscious, right? Mercury is at step 12, and that means it's time to think bigger, and the next step after that is 13, which is breakthrough. So think bigger than you know, think outside your box. Black Moon Lilith is now moving from reality to relationships, and this is really a big part of where the sharks are festing, okay? Which is where we have fear from past life, where we have rage from past life, and where that has manifested into fear, which then draws in reoccurring examples of it in this life. So this is what I mean by swimming with sharks today and through the weekend. In fact, the next week will be temptation to go back, temptation to swim the old way. In fact, you can pretty much look for two sharks in every situation. One that is going to eat you and one that's going to lead you out of the situation. So there is a white shark and there's a gray shark. We'll put it that way. And we're all kind of swimming with sharks right now. This is because we are in the big transition depot of Pisces. And Pisces is where we change spiritual station, so to speak. So we're all changing our stations and we're all hanging out with a lot of us in the terminal. Now, Venus and Mars, the reason why I do the Pac-Man death is because we have a death of an old ego that's going to happen any moment. Every time you swim past an old shark and you meet new dolphins, okay, but there'll always be sharks. We'll talk about that in the Sensei Sunrise. Venus and Mars are ready to create a new ego. Your step by step, every step you take is putting a new piece of your ego in the foundation. Remember, action is what creates ego, what we do or don't do, not what we think, not what we say. It is our actual action. So Venus, look at her at step 8. She's in perfect synchronicity with the sun right now in the steps. Remember, there was a day when Mars was. Remember that? Remember when Mars was going degree by degree, step by step with the sun? Now Venus is moving with us at that same rate. And she is saying, opening up to deciding who you are next, who you want to become, who I am now, and and there's Mars behind in 6 to basically put his hand on her back and help her with the situation. So today, step 8 is I decide. I decide, having gone through the Neptune vortex, that I'm not going to hell, and therefore I'm going to, and I'm not going to, and et cetera, right? So that's basically what today is. I decide. Tomorrow, I act on that decision. You'll want to put that decision into motion with some sort of formal ceremony of your own. This is why religions have ceremonies, because you need a rain dance to make it rain. So now that you are in your own me-ligion, or you're creating your own me-ligion, I would say you need some sort of ritual here that officiates in consciousness, putting your spirit in motion, your new decisions. So put those into action on Saturn Day. And on Sunday, we are squatting on the consciousness, just kind of standing in the pasture. It's a Taurus rule day. I manifest rules a day. That means you just stand and chew your curd. And what's happening? Milk is being made. Or if you're a male bull, you're beefing up. We're manifesting, right? So we're manifesting on Sunday. Now, this whole time, the moon is in Cancer. And so emotions are pure emotion. It's like pure emotional butter. You're getting what you have felt over the last 28 days coming back to you. So if you've ignored anything in the last 28 days, they'll come back to you now emotionally. But you also have a purity of your emotion where you can wring them out and be done with it. That's the good positive of the moon in Cancer. So let's give some tips on how to swim with sharks in today's Sensei Sunrise. So this is my guide to swimming with sharks, and you're going to find in the guide how to get past sharks. This is the idea that there are people, there are souls, there are situations. A shark can be a corporation, a shark can be a situation we found ourselves in, a shark can be an actual person in our life. But this is something that literally takes a bite out of us, literally wounds us, literally makes us afraid of the future, right? We all have these kind of situations, and I think we're all struggling as humans to understand this. So I have presented here 5 tips to swimming with sharks from my experience so far with swimming in the deep. Seems I hang out with these guys a lot. So tip number 1. This comes directly from the Conversations with God book series, which is God says, always, always, always compose, don't oppose. So the sharks are not our enemies in that sense. No one is our enemy. We live in a total system that is united in spirit. It all comes from the same creator. So we have to compose these sharks into our worldview. Our worldview must include this reality, that these exist. This is the issue of, human beings often want to pretend that, the gays will go away, that the blacks will go away, that the Jews will go away. Like whatever it is their hearts can't deal with and consider as a shark. And it's like, no, we have to figure out a way to compose it all together and not oppose it. That has to be a deep premise. So right off the bat, these sharks aren't going anywhere unless you want to be a bastard and kill them all, right? So what are we going to do? Our worldview must include the sharks. And how do they fit in your story? They always fit in our story. We create our own reality. You wrote these sharks in for a reason. Why did you put them in the script, right? There is a reason. And sometimes it's a plot point. Sometimes it's a character development point. Sometimes it's just to push along the narrative. Step 2, know your emotional boundaries every time you go swimming with the sharks. You need to know where it is in the water you get afraid. Where it is, how close you can get, what you're afraid of truly, what you're willing to deal with, what you're comfortable with. Are you willing to move that slightly or not slightly? How do you feel going in? And how much time? Time is a boundary. Don't forget time and space. So sharks smell fear. And so, right off the bat, allowing yourself to go into fear pretty much can guarantees you will be gobbled up. Having a plan ahead of time for what you will do whenever you're in front of a shark versus staying in the fear of sharks, there's 2 conscious ways to go. We can sit here and be in the fear, or we can be processing our exit strategies and what we can do. These are choices in our awareness. So knowing your emotional limits going in and having a plan will help you. Step 3, do not bleed out. Do not bleed out. What does that mean? Well, first of all, blood in the water is basically the shark seeing that this is easy prey. Bleeding out is that you are at that time allowing your knees to collapse and falling into a pity party at the worst time. All right? I believe in pity parties. I believe in self-compassion. I believe in self-mercy. Not in front of sharks. There's a time and a place, and as part of the boundary issue, step 2, right? There's a time and a place. So this is not the moment for a pity party. This is not a moment to bleed out. They don't care, and it's only going to bring in more sharks. The more you pity party in public, I guess, needlessly, and letting yourself bleed all over the place, the more you're going to attract sharks, So we all know that person, in the office or whatever, who is always talking about how horrible things are all the time. And they're the ones that get their car keyed, and they're the ones that, get like the negative stuff happen to them that seems to be random. It all happens to them, and then it just all fuels more sharks. And it's an endless cycle that you can't end. Step 4, please do not feed the sharks. Please do not feed the sharks. Do not offer your help to the sharks. Do not do that light walker approach. Well, I'll just go up and offer them. They'll eat you up, man. That is my, pride here, being very honest. That was my problem. Do not offer money. Do not offer help. Do not offer to talk about it. You are shark bait. Okay, and, they didn't ask for your help in 9 out of 10 times. It's not the way to deal with a shark. I've got bites all over my body that I will post later on Facebook. Step 5, remember God is with you at all times. In fact, if you don't know who God is in this equation, the water you are swimming in is God. All right? Don't let some little shark in this tank scare you off, because the truth is that we are with Creator at the water level. The water molecules, everything holding you up, everything that lets you float on by, everything that's floating by the shark. This is the point where you have to have faith that there's something greater that exists between you, the shark, and everything. And it's a choice whether or not you want to step out on this faith ledge, okay? But faith is starting to go, I believe in that I come from a higher power, and that this is not part of the story. This is not part of what's about to happen. I'm not about to be eaten. God is with me. And begin to use that faith. God is with me, and begin to use it. See what happens and report back. So at our 11:11 today, we're going to hear the whole chant or just the bongs? There we go. I like those bongs. I'm going to text you. Where in your life are the sharks? So according to your chart, we can kind of tell where sharks are in your life, and I'll tell you where your sharks are in your life most likely. And I can also tell you where you might be bleeding out. In other words, what part of your life bleeds out and attracts sharks. So those are 2 different little pools of trouble. Now, by the way, you only have till tomorrow if you'd like to sign up for the March edition of SiriusJoy.me. I can only put in subscribers once a month, and it's just $19.95. Come to SiriusJoy.me, and please have your subscription information in by Saturday night. Service will begin on Sunday for those who subscribe. Looking forward to texting you, my friend. All right, let's take a tiny little break, and we come back. Your Zodiac weather after this.
One of the problems with love is we don't know ourselves well enough to know who we want. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video, and we'll talk all about you. The kind of charisma you have, your personality, are you funny, not funny? What's a perfect romance? What's a perfect wedding? What's a perfect home? And what not to do with you. Find out the secret to your heart at secretsofbirthdays.com. End all the uncertainty. Order one now.
Welcome back to Namaste Today. And now for today's rock and roll gospel. I believe there are 3 ingredients to serious joy. The first is love. Try to love yourself each day. The second is laughter. You gotta laugh at least once a day. And the third is song. And when I say song, I mean sing a song. When you sing, no matter if it's in the shower, in the car, you come into your heart. You just automatically do, especially a song that you love. So we're exploring Pisces musicians right now, and Pisces musicians tend to be very powerful because they are more in touch with the other side than your average bear. And today is a Pisces musician that truly has echoed through the ages. Fats Domino. Fats Domino is a step 6 Pisces. The man is still on Earth, still making music, and still channeling God. I'm certain Pisces usually live to be old wizards indeed. And Fats Domino, I thought, had the perfect song for today. Ain't That a Shame? That's a song that goes all the way back, right? Every time you see any movie about the 50s or whatever, you hear this song in the background. So I think and hope that the man is getting royalties every time it's played. But as you swim on or past those sharks, just sing Ain't That a Shame, right? But before you go shark swimming, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and for your weekend forecast as well. Because for the next 10 days, we'll be swimming with sharks. And I'll be telling you where here you're swimming with your sharks based on the zodiac sign or the rising sign too. Rising signs really apply right now because your rising sign is a big indicator of your karma and your past lives. So a lot of rising signs will apply more than sun signs right now in the zodiac weather, starting with Scorpios and Scorpio risings. Sunny and learning through the weekend, and you are now swimming with sharks in the wrong ocean, period. Okay, so you're swimming with sharks because you are in the wrong ocean, and that is the ultimate situation, trying to fit in somewhere that your heart doesn't really belong. Step 1's the Leo, sunny and spiritual this weekend, but you've been swimming with money sharks. Okay, money sharks, you know what I'm talking about. People after your money, so to speak. Ask yourself, why is that? Part of it has to do with the boundaries, Your Majesty. Step 2's the Cancer, sunny and cool this weekend with the moon in their sign. You've been swimming with mental sharks. These are sharks in your mind that go around chomping on you. Step 3, the Sagittarians, sunny and private and almost spiritual this weekend. You're swimming and have been swimming with career sharks. So trying to get past those career sharks and always trying to get one over on you. Step 4 is the Aquariuses, sunny and hyper aware, currently swimming with personal sharks. Personal sharks are what you thought was a tuna coming into the bedroom, but it turned out to be a shark. And that's what it is, the ones that are closest to the heart. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and productive, swimming with family sharks and emotional piranhas. Emotional piranhas are mind games that eat yourself alive. Don't do that. Step 6, the Libras, sunny and professional, but you are swimming with past life sharks. These were sharks you were once married to, most likely. Step 7, the Pisces, that's the happy birthday bell, sunny and childlike today and through the weekend. Happy birthday, Pisces. I hope you're having a good time and not getting chopped up by the sharks. But your sharks that you're swimming with are ex-husband or wife sharks. So kind of like the Libras, you can empathize. Step 8, the Capricorn, sunny and sentimental, swimming with religious or authority sharks. It doesn't really matter, but they all apply in the same sort of way. Step 9, the Aries, sunny nesting and resting this weekend, but swimming with the daily sharks, the co-workers, the people in traffic, the people at the gym, all those. That's where your sharks may be swimming. Tauruses, step 10s, cloudy and pensive through the weekend, swimming with childhood sharks. And oh my gosh, that is so true for me, especially in my dreams. A lot of my dreams have been about my childhood sharks. You can see how it goes together. Step 11's the Virgos, sunny and productive this weekend. Oh, this is a good one, but true. Swimming with the truth that you may be the shark. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying it's because you're a Virgo. I'm saying it's where things are lined up with the planets right now. We all have to face maybe being the shark, and I think that to some degree, maybe where some Virgos are facing right now. All right, looking at the Lightwalker Parade. If you're on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. It helps us with our YouTube relationship. And if you want to be our friend on Facebook, come to soulgarden.me. That navigates you there. And at soulmart.me, our catalog of the light. You can also add yourself to our light list and be emailed any day of the week. And I have Sirius Joy Camp going live this weekend. Come on down to soulmart.me and take a look. This is 4 classes that will seriously help you set up your joy. I will be teaching you on the steps, how they work into your personal chart information, and some tips for staying in step and knowing which steps you might skip. Now, we can identify your sharks in your chart, and we'll be identifying how to really embrace those sharks in your chart and in your life as well. Sirius Joy, the deadline is tomorrow or Saturday, $19.95 for 30 days of service. Give it a try. You owe it to yourself, and I'll be with you for 30 days. It's kind of fun. And if you care to share, we have Sensei Sunrise Moment segments now. I keep releasing them, so they have little nuggets. Also, you can go back and search this playlist for information you'd like to know. And as always, I'm so grateful to be of soul service for the 9th year in a row. Thank you so much, my friends. I will see you back on Monday with more. Have a great weekend. Make your decisions and squat on them. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.
So